Alright? Look, it was announced today that Reform UK is now the biggest political party in Britain. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. It was heading that way, wasn't it? The support that Reform UK has is undeniable. It's massive. It's massive. If there was a general election tomorrow, there'd probably be the government. But just because they're popular, it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they are actually a legitimate political force. I'll explain what I mean. Throughout history, you've had political parties that are popular but have been completely against the interests of the majority of people in society. I mean, once upon a time in Britain, there was no democracy, so the whole political system was against the interests of the majority in society. You couldn't vote for anyone. There was no such thing as the vote. But since the vote, the Tories have won most of the elections, and they don't function in the interests of the majority in society. They're the party of the rich ruling class. Farage and Reform are no different. Just because they're popular doesn't mean that they are our party, that they represent working class interests. They do not. They do not. But sadly, it looks like a lot of people are going to be fooled into voting for them and getting them into power. Fucking hell, man. I don't think enough people realise yet what is actually happening in this country. What we are going through right now, what we, the British working class, are going through right now, and have been for the last few decades, is the biggest redistribution of wealth in history. The wealth that was channeled towards the working class after World War II and up until the mid to late 1970s, that wealth has now been channeled back to the ruling class, to the rich. So much so that the rich are now super rich. Super fucking rich. Astronomically rich. And to get away with this, the rich need tactics and they need a scapegoat. They can't just tell us what they're up to, because that wouldn't work, would it? Imagine if the rich were like, oh, by the way, the masses, all you millions of people out there, we're robbing you blind. We're taking everything away from you. We're screwing you left, right and centre. We're fucking ripping the piss out of you. And we're going to continue doing that into the foreseeable future. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse until so many of you are poor and powerless that there are serious problems in this society. Serious problems. But we don't care. We're the rich. We're the rich. We don't give a fuck. We're driven by greed. The capitalist system makes us that way. And we have no fucking conscience. We're not bothered what happens to you. We've got all the wealth. We can have whatever we like. We're well looked after. So, when that's happening, this massive redistribution of wealth from the working class majority back to the super rich minority, when that's happening, that super rich minority needs a distraction. They can't just speak the truth. They can't just tell us what they're up to, can they? That would be ridiculous, because they couldn't get away with it if they did that. So what they're doing is pointing the finger at immigrants. Listen, it's an age-old trick. It's been around for a long time. Divide and rule. Scapegoat a section of the poor and point the finger at it. And watch as the rest of the poor fall in line, hating that section of the poor. It's fucking unreal, man. It's everywhere. You turn on the news, immigrants, immigrants, immigrants. You open a newspaper, immigrants, immigrants, immigrants. you put Facebook on or YouTube, immigrants, immigrants, immigrants. That's all we're being bombarded with, man. It's constant. It's fucking coming at us from every angle, and it's constant. And they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep cranking it up, churning out that propaganda to keep distracting us, to keep turning more and more working class people away from what they should be focusing on, which is the massive redistribution of wealth from us to them, and onto poor immigrants who are not robbing us, who are not taking all the wealth away from us. They're just poor and desperate and fleeing war-torn countries and poverty and deprivation. It's not them to blame. It's the multi-billionaires, the rich ruling class, who have all the wealth, who don't want to pay the taxes, who want to take even more wealth away from us, who want to privatise the fucking health service so that we pay through the nose for healthcare. And that's what Farage has in store for us. Privatised healthcare. This is his big ambition, to turn a section of the British economy that's always been resistant to capitalist profiteering into a capitalist profiteering scam. That's what he wants to do. Just like all Tories have wanted to do but have never been able to do. Now Farage thinks he can do it. And him and the billionaires, they're going to try their best. With the help of Trump over the fucking water. And if we fall for that, well, you're condemning people to death. You're condemning working class people to death because the death and suffering that'll happen as a result of the privatisation of the NHS doesn't bear thinking about, man. Doesn't bear thinking about. Imagine if you voted Reform UK and then they privatised the NHS and then you couldn't afford treatment for your child and your child died as a result. Fuck me, man. How could you live with yourself? Just don't do it. Vote for a party that's going to protect the NHS at the very least. Preferably vote for your party, which isn't just going to protect the NHS, it's going to tax the fucking billionaires, tax the rich, tax them to the hilt to get back that wealth that we fucking need, that they've been robbing from us for the last few decades. Don't let Farage take it to that next level of robbery. You know it makes sense. Let's stop this redistribution of wealth from us to them. Fuck Farage and Reform off and build a socialist movement where we tax the rich, spread the wealth and look after each other. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Tati bye, bonjour, arrivederci, Volksprung Deutsch. So I'm just saying blot lines here. It's daft, isn't it? Solidarity always. Good night.